Hi, everyone. Today we will be discussing physiological changes to the brain due to long-term substance abuse. First, we want to go over the scale of substance abuse and some statistics on specific substances. Over 165 million Americans over the age of 12 are impacted by substance abuse. And the statistics for these specific substances that we'll be talking about, alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine, are shown below. The areas of the brain shown to be most impacted by substance abuse include the prefrontal cortex and the temporal lobe.
For our literature review, we focused on papers that studied the effects of alcohol, cannabis, or cocaine use separately, as well as highlighted the links between age at drug use onset and frequency of use. The most common methods found across these papers include voxel-based morphometry, multimodal imaging, and multiple regression analysis.
From these studies we reviewed, we found that cannabis users exhibit gray matter loss in the medial temporal cortex, temporal pole, parohippocampal gyrus, and orbitofrontal cortex. Also, alcohol users exhibit similar decreased gray matter in the cortical, lateral, frontal, and temporal regions, and decreased rates of white matter growth, as well as a loss of neurons in the basal forebrain. In addition to this, cocaine users also exhibit a large decrease in gray matter.
In one of the studies we came across, the figure on the left shows the structural change in gray matter volume due to alcohol is in the dorsomedial prefrontal cortex. Cocaine negatively impacted the ventromedial prefrontal cortex, and the figure on the right shows that the lateral regions of the orbital frontal cortex are impacted as well. On the right figure, we can also see on red that gray matter volume reduction can occur by a use of combination of various drugs, but also when isolated, we can see, for example, that cigarette use impacts different parts of the brain than, for example, cocaine.
In conclusion, earlier introduction to these drugs increases the magnitude of the effects. Specifically, the impacted areas are gray matter. The gray matter volume is reduced, impacting areas that could lead to drug inhibition. Polysubstance use, aka the number of drugs being used at the same time, is related to increased compounded gray matter volume decrease in new separate regions. Further research can be done to determine whether the effects can be reversed and what role genetics play in substance abuse. These are our references.